Hey there. Today we're gathered together. It's Wednesday, April the 27th. We're reading three passages, three chapters in the Bible: 1 Samuel 14, Psalm 124, and Acts chapter 10. Three things to read, three great places to glean the wisdom of God's heart, His mind, and apply the ways of His kingdom to our lives. In 1 Samuel 14, there is a sentence, or a couple sentences, one little verse. It's verse number 7, chapter 14, verse number 7. This verse right here, when I get asked sometimes, Adam, what's the secret to what God is doing in Carl Junction? I talk to other pastors, I talk to other church leaders places, and we talk about how church is going, how things are happening, and I hear all kinds of stories of how this morning I met somebody that said it's just hard to get people interested in God. I talked to another person a couple days ago that said after COVID, I just can't get anybody to show up. I talked to another pastor somewhere that said, with all the things our kids do and our things out there, it's just hard to really motivate people. And there's some truth to that. I saw a little meme the other day that said, Disney is what it's talking about. Disney might be coming for your kids, but youth sports leagues, traveling baseball teams took them a long time ago. There's some truth in that, in the way we schedule our kids and the priorities we have over sports over God, and that's a whole different talk. But I get asked, because when I talk about our church, when I talk about what God is doing in the Christian church right here, as we're launching new campuses and how we're gathering and doing things online, meeting people that live 8 hours away online, and doing some cool stuff. I share these stories and people say, Adam, what's the secret? What is it? I point back to 1 Samuel 14, verse 7. See, in 1 Samuel 14, you have two guys I'm really focused on. Jonathan, the son of King Saul. He's going over to fight Philistines. Now, was it a good plan? I don't know, but he's going to fight Philistines. And his armor bearer, whose only job is to protect Jonathan, to go with Jonathan. And Jonathan's going, and let me read this to you. Chapter 14, verse 7. As they're getting ready to go, the armor bearer says to Jonathan, do all that you have in mind. Go ahead. I am with you, heart and soul. People ask me sometimes, Adam, what's the secret in Carl Junction, in the Christian church? What's the secret? Well, the secret is, first of all, obviously, we start with Jesus, but 1 Samuel 14, verse 7. The secret is not me. The secret is not anything that I'm doing or can do or have done or will do. The secret is that I'm surrounded by people. We're surrounded by people. Keenan Klein, our creative arts minister. James Billings, our discipleship minister. Rebecca Robertson, our children's minister. Eric Wasson, our student minister. Elders, John Desmond and Harvey Bendure. Mick O'Hanahan, Ralph Shedd. Great deacons that serve. People that want to see the kingdom come and God's will be done here as it is in heaven. The secret is that I have people around me that say, this is what God's saying. Let's go do it. I'm with you, heart and soul. If you want to see God move mightily in your life, in your workplace, your family, your school, your neighborhood, if you want to see God move mightily, here's what you need. You must have people who look at you and say, I believe in you. I believe in what God is doing in you, around you, and through you. I'm with you, heart and soul. If you want to see God move, you need to surround yourself with people that will go with you. But more importantly than that, you have to be a person that's willing to look at others and say, I'm with you, heart and soul. Just talking to our staff the other day, individually, as I was meeting with people, and I had to look them in the eye and just say, this thing we're talking about, I am with you, heart and soul. What can I do to help you run well and succeed and see God move mightily in your ministry and your family here? We had some great talks about that. I want to encourage you today. to look for people that will go with you, but more importantly, you examine your own heart and you make sure you are the kind of person that says to somebody else, I believe in the power of God in you. around you and through you. So go and do what God has called you to. I am with you, heart and soul. And make sure you mean it. Jesus never sent anybody alone. Luke chapter 9, Luke chapter 10, he sent out the 12 disciples, and he sent out 72 more a chapter later in Luke 10. He sent them out, and he sent them out in pairs. He sent them out to go to all the places he was about to go to do his will in pairs, together, in groups. On the day of Pentecost, when the church began to grow, and then the persecution from Saul came, and they all scattered back to their hometowns, their homelands. They all went as families. They went together. When Paul went on his journeys, he took Barnabas with him, and then later Silas with him. They went together. Jesus sends us together. We need somebody that we can look at and say, I'm with you, heart and soul, and they will say it back to us, and we'll run mightily. I am praying for you today that you will have somebody that you run with, that you walk with, that you lead with, that you pray with, that you talk with, and that you serve with, so that the kingdom of God will move mightily in your lives, because you are looking at someone who's looking back at you and saying, I believe in what God is doing. I'm with you, heart and soul. Examine yourself. Take a long, hard look at yourself. And maybe grab some paper and start writing out some names of people you're with. And pray over that. And take your next step in leading your friends, your coworkers, your family, your neighbors to Jesus. I'm praying it's a powerful day for you. And until we see each other again, you are sent.